Let's do it, friends. Let's hang out on a Sunday. Let's have a little drink, if you choose. Let's just chill for a little bit. I'm Ken Napzok, and this is, I guess, a show called Clink, Clink, only because I've had these wonderful, wonderful graphics, these elements here from Old Handsaw that I've not quite had the chance to use yet. But we're here. We're here on a Sunday, and this angle's not going to stay too long. I have it. This is my Schmodown announcer close-up angle. This is the one that's in my face because they need that for some of the editing of the Schmodown. Hey, everybody. Jack Cole's here on YouTube. We're on YouTube and Twitch right now. Jack Cole says, I don't have any whiskey to clink, clink with yet, but I got a vanilla porter. So, ooh, that's good. Turtles here. Star Wars Alice and Vermont Mike have been waiting for hours. Old Handsaw is here as well, and I'm glad he's here. As well as HUD here as well, because Old Handsaw's been helping me with a project that I'm been teasing and ready to launch and all that good stuff. Let's go to this angle, just because I like it a little bit later. Yeah, Clink Clink, the Ken Napzok Happy Hour show. That's a graphic that's actually been around these parts for a bit because I was about to launch that show when we launched GPA. So let me go. I'm going to adjust this angle just a little bit so you're not looking so up my nose with a rubber hose. Brian Ward's here. Sebastian Fela's here. Pete Rich. Sebastian is from Uruguay and is working on something really cool with us over at the GPA. Color Jerry's here, drinking old-fashioned, watching Ken Napzok. Yeah, I'm an old-fashioned. You're right. We're split YouTube and Twitch, so join the party. Kind of a Q&A, a chat. I'll be here for a little bit. I'm not brick building because there's one little package I could build right now, but I'm down to the big sets. And you might have heard me on Force Center. I think I have a place where I could put, and I think I said it in the last brick building too. I'm on so many shows. I can't remember where I say these things. I have a place where I think I could put the Death Star. I think I could build the Lego Death Star, which I do own. And actually, I'm thinking I have two spots. Oh God, I have that spot too. I have this one and I have that one. Oh, I could do it. And I think I might. I want to conquer it. The problem is the building space. This right here, I got 7 inches of building space. I don't think I can build the Death Star in 7 inches of building space. We'll see. So until I decide what to do the brick building, until some of those new little sets that I saw that are starting to come out, some Mando related sets and that kind of stuff, we're just going to hang out for a little bit if you don't mind. You guys can ask me anything. Let's chat. Matthew Stokes is here. Love when Matthew Stokes is here. Evening all. Sebastian says, sadly, I've quit drinking for a while. You know what? That's not sad. Chill out, relax. We all don't need alcohol. I love drinking. I do, but I didn't drink till late in life. I didn't, you know, and I go through weeks at a time where I don't touch a drink. Today, that is not the case. I'm taking a little bit easy this weekend. This is a Malibu and Zevia. Malibu and Zevia. I don't know about that, but it's tasting good. So questions coming in. We got a lot of stuff here. This is great. I love it all here. Rodney's here. Ken is a Pirates fan. Can you tell me it's going to be okay? Look, man, Rodney, I actually love the Pirates. Me and my friend Corey, we've co-owned a fantasy baseball team since 1999. We're still in this league together. And it's a National League only league. In fact, my friend Corey's texting me right now about today's moves. I should take the call on air. Tell him to call in. We love Pirates. We just love toolsy, 5-tool kind of pirate players or up-and-coming Pirates. We famously or infamously in our league held Warren Morris back in the early 2000s, second baseman of the future for the Pirates. He had like one good season. Boom, he was out. He was with the Twins. He was out of baseball. We love Pirates. Polanco, Gregor Polanco, we have him on our team now. It's like our 3rd straight year. We get burned every time. But I believe, Rodney, they can get it right. It's a good city. They want them to win. This is small market teams are still at a disadvantage. But I don't think the Pirates can need to always play and run things like a small market team. I think one day, Rodney, it's going to be okay. Oh, so. All right. Color Jerry's in here. What do you think of Lego reveal of the Republic gunship? I do love that. I love that set. That might be one of those large mid-size kind of sets I might get my hands on. I love that. I love the gunship. That's one of my favorite Star Wars ships. Jack Cole says, you guys have been killing GPA. Thank you. Mackie, sit down there. It was so much fun. Great hang on. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for anyone who's supporting, watching GPA in general, and specifically Ken Goes Live. It's I'm still kind of developing the show and kind of taking it out of what Internet for Old People was doing. And I'm still going to take elements from Internet from Old People, smush it into Ken Goes Live. I love old sit-down chat shows. Napzok Files podcast was that for a long time. I love Tom Snyder, Dick Cavett. I really, Alan King, Inside the Comedy Mind was one of my all-time favorite shows. Even Roy Firestone on ESPN back in the day for you oldsters. I absolutely love that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm trying to do. Matt was great. Zara Lisbon was great. Christian Rivacaba, great. I don't have a guest book for episode 4, but episode 5 right now is scheduled to be. He's always busy working, but the great Phil Moore. A lot of you might know Phil Moore. His son, David Moore, has been on GPA and Napzok Files before as well, and Force Center too. But Phil was the first black host at Nickelodeon in the 90s. He broke a barrier very late in the game, but he broke it. And we're going to talk all about that, about him doing that, about the barrier, about all that kind of stuff. So that's coming up later in August there. We got just catching up with there. Sebastian's not handling alcohol great lately. You know what, Sebastian? That's why I'm drinking rum more and more. And I wouldn't say rum is, I don't think James Bond is going to be drinking a lot of rum, but I got to downgrade to that a little bit. The whiskey, We got Woolbrands here. I'm on the 10th Lager, Scotland's finest. Ooh, good choice. Good choice. Love that profile pic there, Woolbrand. You look like you mysterious. This is great. Brian Ward is here. Became a Pirates fan when the Cardinals traded Andy Van Slyke to Pittsburgh. Yes. What was that, after the 85 or 86 season? What was that, Brian Ward? Yeah, you forget Van Slyke. I think he was even on the 85 World Series team there. Hey, Jeremy. Sebastian, who is in Uruguay, doesn't fully understand baseball. Yeah, just hang out. Just hang out. We'll teach you baseball. Rob Waldock says, dining tables keep the Death Star. That's a good point. At least 1 week with normal work schedule mixed in. New Star Wars Lego released today too. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Rob. That's the problem. I now have a space. I couldn't stream it if I built it out there. We'll work on that. Zavala Hutz is going to take for you Fisher Mac wedding November in Arizona. Josh and I have talked about. You probably get a better chance of Josh doing it. I'm a little trepidatious. I'm just going to be honest, Zavala Hut. I'm trepidatious on officiating weddings for folks I don't really know too closely. And Zavala Hut, you're always in our chat here, and I know you, and you know me. But I officiated Makuga's wedding with Amanda, Matt Key to his lovely wife Brittany. Like, those are like some of my best friends, and I just knew what to say. And I being a gun for hire, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I'd be afraid. We got here. Let's see here. Jack, I was debating whether or not to get back into Lego and start getting some of the amazing ship sets, A-Wing, Y-Wing, Razor Crest, but holy smokes, sets are pretty penny. Yeah. And they're rising with some of the state of the world, some of the costs there. I'm looking at the Razor Crest right now. The Razor Crest is worth it. The Razor Crest is absolutely one of my favorite sets there. 87, I think, traded for Tony Pena. That's right. Andy Van Slyke was traded for Tony Pena. Yeah, you forget the tune. Pena was part of that key run with 87, right? I love Tony Pena. He was a coach for the Yankees for a long time. I think could have been a manager of the Yankees. I think he got passed over, quite frankly. That's a great pull, Brian Ward. Brian Ward is a spectacular baseball fan. And I'll tell you what, do not give up hope on Box Score Heroes. If anyone liked the baseball podcast feed I launched, I just couldn't. I was crushed by the weight of the workload of a lot of things going on in my life. That feed is not dead. It's still out there. You can listen to it. And I'm going to figure out what to do with it because in large part, Brian Ward designed some of my favorite logos, graphics, and elements for the Box Score Heroes podcast feed. Of all his work, of all the Schmodown work Brian Ward has done, even some of the Force Center work, and we got a great exclusive 1,000 episode of Force Center poster coming out designed by Brian Ward. Brian's work on Box Score Heroes, probably my favorite stuff. So I'm keeping the dream alive. Genevieve G. Am I saying that right? Genevieve G. What shows do you have coming up? So what shows do I have coming up? The next one, as first Renee says, yep, more vodka and coconut water and a bit of juice these days. Sebastian says, I'm 27. My body's not handling alcohol correctly. I'm in trouble. No, that's about when your body starts to crumble. You're in good hands. To the question of what am I doing, comedy show wise, right now it's scheduled August 31st. It will be in North Hollywood at the Ha Ha Cafe, local here. So if you're in Los Angeles, I'll be opening up for Daniel Bridge Gadd, who opened up for Mark Ellis along with me in Seattle last weekend, which was a great time. Man, that was a fun show out there. So that's that. And then hopefully some more dates coming soon. We're going to kind of wait and see right now with what's going on. Lockdowns and all this kind of thing. We'll see what happens. But right now that's scheduled here. Lauren Romo, who is afflicted with a disease called rooting for the Tigers, is in chat here. And she says, your Yankees are definitely being the evil empire of this trade season. They got Clay Holmes from the Pirates. Yeah, middle relief arm we needed. Joey Gallo, I get power. The power of Gallo is great, but that guy he can't hit the ball, man. So I was a little worried. But then Rizzo, and look what Rizzo's done in 3 games in Miami for us. Just a lot of fun. So it's been great. Sorry, Lord, you'll get there. Jeffrey Bennington is bummed Mr. Show in Edmonds as out of town the entire weekend. And to be clear, we were in Seattle for the show, but we stayed up in Edmonds, which was a great city. Putting it on the short list of cities I want to kind of retire to, and never really will. But I think I could see Ellis retiring up there. So there you go. With the potential second season of The Bad Batch, asked Color Jerry, would you want to see Karen Travis written episode? I never read her books. I know people love those books. She was pretty bitter about the Clone Wars, so I don't know if she'd ever come back to work for Lucasfilm, and I don't know if they'd ever have her, to be honest. But yeah, I hear nothing but great things about those books. So maybe one day, you never know. Time and money can heal all wounds. Star Wars Alice claims I always put her dog Obi-Wan to sleep. I think that's an okay thing. Channel 19 resubbed on Twitch. Thank you, Channel 19. There we go. Here we go. Catching up to all the comments here. Brian Ward says, I just built 5 bookshelves and put a bunch of Lego sets out, and I still have multiple storage boxes with sets of them. I feel you, Brian. I got this bookshelf behind the camera here, and like that, it was already taken up. Hey, John Alexander. What's up, John Alexander? Sorry here. Oh, there we go. I'm catching up to some comments here. I was in the wrong spot here. All right. Zavala says, that's how I feel. It might be weird having an officiant. I don't know, but I know you, plus the voice of an angel. There you go. I have the Zavala the Hutt. I'm here to marry you. You think you're the scourge of New Mexico? Well, by God, I am New Mexico. Speaking of Young Guns, too, I got these books over here. Today, look at that. William H. Bonney. Great book. Today is the anniversary of Young Guns 2. Young Guns 2 released in 1990, August 1st, 1990. Oh, I love that movie. And I put in my tweet about that today. I know it can seem like it's a bit or a running joke. I legitimately love the Young Guns movies, and I legitimately absolutely considered Young Guns 2 a great film. I love it. There's life lessons in it, some of the best quotes. I don't remember Star Wars quotes, but I remember all the Young Guns 2 quotes, and Young Guns, of course, as well. So love it today. It was great. I pulled some books down, and Aaron the author is here. What is Aaron the author saying here? Aaron the author says, my Facebook memories tell me it was 6 years ago this week that I was last in Los Angeles. On this day, I watched Kershaw pitch a no-hitter through 7, and then it gets a bit fuzzy due to big-ass beers. That's a Canadian on the loose in Los Angeles. Big-ass beers. Well, Aaron, pretty soon, you're going to get out to L.A. We'll all catch up. Hulk Black Widow says, have you ever done a show in UK, Europe? No, I've never been over to UK and Europe. I got to get my passport up and running. And then I'll absolutely give that a go. I'd love to do some comedy in the UK. Love to. Some book recommendations. The Last Gunfight, the real story, the shootout at the OK Corral and how it changed the American West. So I love Tombstone as well. Jeff Gwynn wrote this book. This is one of my favorite books. And here's the thing. So I love Young Guns. I love Tombstone, which are kind of these, they're based in history. There's a lot more historically accurate things in those movies than I think you'd immediately want to give them credit for, but they're rock and roll Westerns without a doubt. So I love that version of the West. I love the fictionalized version of the West, but I love, and also it's sometimes painful to study the actual real West. And The Last Gunfight is one of those books. Wyatt Earp, complicated man, to say the least. Kurt Russell, maybe less complicated than the actual real Wyatt Earp. So I highly recommend this book. And then also this one for you Tombstone fans, Doc Holliday, The Life and Legend, Gary L. Roberts. This one is great. Just figured I'd bring those out, recommend those books because it's the Young Guns 2 anniversary today. All right, let's catch up here with some comments. Keep them all coming in here. Rob says, pastors meet with a couple, two times ahead of ceremony just to get to know them. Nothing Ken can't handle. I didn't meet up with Matt and Brittany. I was just talking. Sorry, my nose itching me. I was just talking with Matt Key about that on and off air this past week. But I wrote that whole wedding vows ceremony, officiant speech, whatever you want to call it. Did not run one bit of it by Matt and Brittany. And I had jokes in it. I had references. I went through it. It ended up being a home run, but that was scary. And then I did it again with Josh and Amanda. They did not know one word of what I was going to say. And it worked out. I did meet with Josh and Amanda once before, and I had them on a podcast on Napzok Files back in the day. And I secretly used that podcast to get to know a little bit more of Amanda at the time. So it all worked out. But yeah, that's true. They meet ahead. Wolbrand asks, have you watched the new Masters of the Universe? I don't think it deserves the hate it's getting. I watched, first of all, number one, I don't think it deserves the hate it's getting because I also think that the hate is disingenuous. I think it's complete bad faith arguments. I think it is people looking for an opportunity. There's maybe, as always, 2 to 5% of the actual complaints are maybe legitimate problems or, hey, this wasn't what I expected. And don't ever confuse that with the people making the disingenuous bad faith arguments that are generally out there for an agenda. He-Man, the Master Universe, clearly it's part of some people's agendas. And tearing it down is only to further their hate clicks. And I think that's what's going on. I just think we got to acknowledge it. I watched the first episodes. I was a big He-Man fan growing up, but I stopped watching He-Man and then just I did not care. He-Man did not go forward with me into my adult life. Whereas like Robotech did, Star Wars clearly did. Mask probably went a little farther in my life than He-Man. I had a lot of toys, all those things. I don't know where they are anymore. I don't know where my merman went. But I did enjoy the series, supporting my pal Tiffany Smith, who's killing it in that, and Lena Headey, Liam Cunningham, Mark Hamill, great voice cast. I have had the chance to work around Kevin Smith before, briefly, and I actually really like him. I think he's an absolute gentleman and a smart guy and knows what he's doing. Mark Bernardin on the show as well. Mark's a very talented writer too. So I loved it. I loved what I watched. I'll finish it up. Old Handsaw says, my Facebook memories show me standing in a creek 10 years ago. It's interesting. Aaron and Old Handsaw bring up Facebook memories. I don't go on to Facebook much anymore. I don't think most of us do. But I kind of got addicted. One day I clicked on a Facebook memory notification. Like, what is this? What is this one? And, I forget it. It's not just like one day of a memory. They'll say, hey, there's some other memories for you. And we'll go and go and go and go and go. And I've been looking at Facebook memories going back to 2009. Some of my posts are cringeworthy. Some of them are like, I've grown up and changed. Some of them are kind of funny. Some of them you remember right where you were. And then some of them it's just crazy how time flies. It's been fun. I've been doing it every day since. It's been about 2 weeks. It's kind of fascinating. It's a time capsule for sure. Hulk Black Widow says, just started reading your Wild Will Star Wars book. Really enjoying it. Which upcoming Star Wars project are you most excited about? Looking forward to the movies the most. I am in the immediate future, I should say. Kenobi, Andor, and The Acolyte. Definitely excited for the movies. Patty Jenkins, Rogue Squadron, all that kind of stuff. Excited, but I cannot wait for the Kenobi series, and I cannot wait for Andor. And I'm just so intrigued by Leslie Headland's The Acolyte. Love that there. Can't wait for Clerks 3, says Jeremy. I never saw Clerks 2 all the way. Dogma's my favorite Kevin Smith movie. Turtle says, fantastic episode of Spotlight. Star Wars today was my birthday tomorrow. Turn 27. Any suggestions for a Star Wars I should watch? Turtle, first of all, happy birthday. 27th, great age. What Star Wars movie should you watch tomorrow for birthdays? I think Solo, a Star Wars story. That's kind of a celebratory happy. You can see Han and Lando celebrating your birthday with you. I think watch that. Zevia and rum. Who knew? Old Hansaw adds, I also had Red Lobster cheese biscuits that day. Good times. Andor, yes, says Jack Cole. Like I said, the voice of an angel or a demon. Aaron, the answer is a lot of my Facebook memories these days are sharing and commenting on various schmosnow.com articles. Go figure. Yeah, the old days, right? Yeah, I saw a lot of those too. Like weird memories to like phase 3 of the podcast. Or was that Toad Hop? Was that phase 3? Yeah, it was. Because phase 1 was Christian's bedroom at his old apartment, and then phase 2 was the John Lovitz Club. I made some appearances on both, but didn't join till phase 3. And phase 4 beyond. There you go. Solo it is. There you go. I convinced Turtle to say that. Dogma is amazing. It's also my favorite Kevin Smith movie. Very upset that it still isn't released on Blu-ray. Has it not been released on Blu-ray? Yeah, maybe I just have the DVD of it. Yeah, you're probably right, Aaron. I always trust Aaron. She's right. That's frustrating. I just like it. I just think it hits on a lot of things, core things of spirituality. I really love some of the scenes there are real powerful to me. It's got poop humor. God and poop humor. They go together well. Kevin Smith proved that. Jack Cole tried a Zevia and tequila. Didn't work. Yeah. I'm not much of a tequila person. Hey, Box Office Jack. Thanks for the sub on Twitch. Nose is really itching me today. Sorry, everybody. Can you hear that crack? Something going on in there. Who knows what's going on? I got snoot problems, everybody. You get the scoop here. This is the content you want. Ken and snoot problems. Definitely not Trey is here. Definitely not Trey is here. That's a worry. Sebastian says tequila hurts my soul. I do like tequila, and I'll sip it. I'll sip tequila, put some lime and some rocks in there, and just sip it for a little bit. I don't always do the shots, but it's not always my favorite. It's not always my favorite, but I can do it. I can do it without a chaser. Proud to say. Maybe I've watched enough Tombstone and Young Guns to know how to do that. Color Jerry is kind of an unfair question, but what is your favorite lightsaber hilt? Oh, Jack Call, your Box Office Jack. Hi. Good to know. Itchy nose usually means rogue mustache hair. It's not. I wish it was. It's something up in the air. You could almost hear. I could almost ASMR crack. There's something going on up there. I got to go back to the doctor. Straight Jackie D for me. Jack Daniels is good. So Color Jerry's question. What is your favorite lightsaber hilt? I mean, I'm looking over at Luke Skywalker's Return of the Jedi lightsaber. And I gotta say that's always been kind of my favorite. Simple to the point. I even like Kenobi's. I like the simple ones. I like the Wookiee Padawan lightsaber with the wood blade and all that kind of stuff. I got Kylo Ren's over there. I like that. But yeah, Luke, Return of the Jedi Luke might be my favorite still. Brian Ward asks, did I see the image of Mark on Sethel and Grogu? I did. It looks cool. Cannot wait for that behind the scenes Disney Gallery show. Definitely not Trey says, we made some death batch margaritas in college, and I got so sick I swore off tequila forever. I'm going to ask a question I might regret. Definitely not Trey. What goes in death batch margaritas? Please, to be letting me know. Please. I'd be really curious. I kind of want to know, just maybe so I can avoid it. Like, this is not the toughest stuff in the world. I'm not a cowboy drinking this. But death batch margaritas, I could that could be a thing. That could be a thing. I don't know. Too much tequila and not enough ice and mix. But what goes in it? Is that what it is? Just extra tequila and not enough ice and mix? Just tequila Ritas? Okay. Sounds like something with ghost pepper juice. Yeah. Box Office Jack is right. I could see that. Ghost peppers. Potter 1,000. Haven't we all sworn off tequila at some point? I think so. All right, Trey's got the answer. 3/4 of the blender is tequila. Yeah, that's a problem. I could see where that's a little much. The smell still throws me off. I love alcohol sense memories. Never a great thing, right? Never when you like. That's not a good thing. What about the Bright Tree Village Lego set? I might be able to build that on this setup here. I'll have to look at that. I'll have to get them down. I have Kylo Ren's ship. I have Fortress Vader, Cloud City, Death Star, Jabba's Palace, I think I have. And then Bright Tree Village Lego set. I'd love to build one of those. Sebastian says, I cannot drink martinis anymore. The smell makes me sick. A lot of confessions here. Aaron, the author, says, in university, we used to put just enough mix in it to change the color. Just enough. Brian Ward is Bad Batch Margarita is a bunch of great ingredients that some think are filler, but aren't. Yes, absolutely. Yes. I just, the word filler when it comes to any Star Wars TV show is just one of the most maddening just things to hear. And I'm someone who used to use the term until I was just absolutely corrected on it by Stephen Stanton. On air, on Jedi Council. Just absolutely hammered me over it. In the most polite, gentlemanly way, because that's what Stephen Stanton is. And then when you really start breaking into the themes and really kind of breaking down each moment of each episode, it's not filler, man. There's no, that doesn't exist in Star Wars. Brian Ward and I, we're eye to eye. Geek with a side of nerd. Jeremy spoke in class today. Not Star Wars. That's a dark song. Let's just admit it. Not Star Wars, but the Beatles' Yellow Submarine Lego would be awesome. Ooh, that's a great idea. Maybe in honor of the Peter Jackson Let It Be doc in November, right? Maybe I should build that Yellow Submarine Lego set. They should build. Do they have a Lego set that's the Beatles performing on the Apple Records rooftop? That'd be fun, right? What's Ringo in that red jacket, pulling those? Yeah, let's do that. We right for that. Color Jerry agrees. The Whiteout 52. Look at Zach sneaking back in here. Most people I knew in college just stuck to pulling shots out of the bottle. You know, I've spoken like a true Brewers fan. Good to see you around these parts, Zach. Zach, I was thinking about you this week. Giggity. I was thinking of just writing you, mean like when you getting back up on stage. So you know what? Now instead of writing you, I'm just going to ask right here, right now, Zach, when you getting back up on stage. So stay away from Death Batch margaritas and Pan Galactic Gargle Blasters. I do have a recipe for Pan Galactic Gargle Blasters. I should try to make that. Let's see what it does. Ben Ratty's here. What's up, Ben? Sworn off gin after getting back from a New Year's night at university and drinking an entire bottle. Neat between me and a friend. The hangover's death incarnate. Oh my God, I can feel that one. The last time. Oh yeah, Old Hansel's got the Lego Beetle mosaics. They're still hanging. Good art. Jedi Germs. What's up, Jedi Germs? Yeah, Trey says, yeah, here's the old filler episodes. Old TV. They use clips from previous episodes of the character would dream about a relive. Buck Rogers. Star Trek Next Generation. Yeah, clip show. Yeah, that's a good use of the word filler. Jonas Bergen says, I've been sober for about 10 years, but I used to drink Jägermeister Mountain Dew, which probably is why it's a good idea you're sober, right, Jonas? I support your decision, and I'm here in your corner forever. Jägermeister and Mountain Dew. Woo! This is great stuff. Follow up to Ben's comment of Death Incarnate. Some whiskey recently. I can't do whiskey anymore. If I get up to 2 drinks and I've mixed it with ginger ale, I'm okay with whiskey. And I love whiskey. I have a big whiskey collection out there. First Rate Nate, our friend and listener, usually sends out some wonderful bottles to me for to celebrate milestones and things. And he's so generous, and I have them and I sip them carefully. Any more than 2, especially if I haven't mixed it with ginger ale or something, it's the next day. It's not even a hangover. It's the sickness. It's the actual illness of my body. And the last time I really got down and out, and some drinking stories are fun. Let's be honest, right? Some drinking stories are fun. And this is the Clink Happy Hour show. So let's talk drinking, kids. Some drinking stories are absolutely fun and wild. And when done safely and when done responsibly. Oh, Fair Smoothana with a resub. Thank you, Fairs. Good to see Fairs around these parts. When done responsibly, some drinking stories are fun. I think we've all got those. But man, so I don't like to brag about drinking stories too much. But New Year's 2016 into 2017, I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and I got some 5150 rum. Fairs Muthana says, damn, happy hours during work hours for me. But you know what, Fairs? Perhaps no one knows. Clink, clink. And Zach has a answer there. And so my friend was who I was hanging out with that night. She was not a drinker. She never really had any alcohol. She wasn't like sober. She just pretty much avoided, very healthy. Just doesn't want the sugars. Doesn't want to lose control. Support that decision. But I had bought some 5150, which is a pretty powerful rum, and she was pouring them for me. But after a while, I didn't see what she was pouring. So I had about 3.5, pushing to 4 strong 5150s. And I was out, like, it was out. And the next day we were supposed to go do something. We were supposed to drive in a car for about 2 hours. And she was driving. And I was trying to act not as sick as it was, because it wasn't just a hangover. It was, do you mind pulling over to that Starbucks now? And it killed me. Like, it just death incarnate. That's what made me think about the story, Ben. And I haven't touched 5150 since then, even though it's a rum. You just gotta, you don't want to brag about it too much. It just was not good. Aaron, the author, says people use the term filler to describe anything, or the same people also throw around the term clickbait, and their opinion is usually irrelevant. I absolutely agree with that. I love when Aaron comes in hot. We've only had one major disagreement in our life, and it's around the validity of one YouTuber's Star Wars beliefs. That's it. That's it. Other than that, Aaron's perfect. Whiteout 52 says next stage time is up in the air at the moment. Got to actually do some writing. Zach, while that's a smart decision as a comic, I'm also going to call bullshit. Zach, get up on stage and send me video. Look, Zach, you got to get ready. If Ellis and I head out to Wisconsin proper, I'm going to want to toss you 5 minutes. You got to be ready for that call. Sub-hype from Highway Gentleman and JG Granberg. Thank you all for resubbing. Yeah, this is Hype Train also started here. Oh, look at the cheers coming in. I got to catch up here. First with on a cheer. We need a cheer and hype monitor. Bador's been on an extended vacation, much deserved. Peaceful guys here. Happy Sunday. Terrible hangovers. We call that character building. That's true. Hulk Black Widow says, my wife kept drinking this year, and I miss those fun times with her. Got any advice for me? Because she's doing fine. Yeah. No, that's a, number one, sounds like Hulk Black Widow. You are supporting your wife in this decision. I think that's number one. Follow her down that path, support her down that path. And for you, just know that you could still, maybe if she's okay with it, if you have a drink and you get to laugh and you get to giggle, you get to have some fun, I think your drink is going to be okay. And then find the new chapter, the new way to celebrate and have some fun, I guess. That's my only advice, but I don't know. Grace and I still tie one on every now and then. Big cheers from Fairly Fairs. Hype Train. I'm over on Twitch right now. conductors. I always apologize. It is what it is. With GPA taking a lot of the focus, rightfully so. We do a lot of stuff over there. I don't ever want to counteract. Also, the fact that my camera is leaning on my computer, and therefore, anytime I move, the camera shakes like an earthquake. So now you know what it feels to live in Los Angeles. GPA deserves my attention, so I haven't been using my own Twitch as much, and I want to get into Red Dead Online. I really do. I have it queued up. I'm just playing MLB The Show. I had to restart my franchise. I'm in 2025 of the new MLB The Show. Just made a big traded for Freddie Freeman in 2025, stretch run pickup. So there you go. That's the answer Jedi Germs' question there. Waiting for the next big, great game. For me, MLB The Show has always been my favorite thing. I go turn on Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll play Tony Hawk 1 and 2 as well on the remaster version, but I'll just go to Red Dead 2 and I'll just walk around. I'm hunting. I'm looking for foliage, looking for weeds, there's a certain fish I got to get right now in Red Dead Redemption. I just do it to relax. Lauren Romo and then Trey's got a question. Any Olympics you're watching? I am not watching any Olympics this time for no big reason. I just, no giant reason. I love the Olympics. My dad and I have a lot of positive memories of my dad and I sitting watching the Olympics. It's just not in the rotation this time around for no big giant reason. Just not watching there, but I do love the Olympics. I really do. I absolutely do. Trey says, hey, how does Seattle set go? Any extra details you care to share? Yeah, I think because I did the Napzok Files Road Diaries are up on Patreon. Check that out if you haven't had a chance yet, Trey. I talked about some of the details there. The set went really, really good. Set went amazing. But it was a warm crowd, meaning it was a sorry. Will McLean says Braves trading Freeman, even if a video game breaks my heart. What was interesting, I almost picked up Rizzo about 4 days before the Yankees picked him up in real life, but I went with Freeman. Seattle, the crowd was warm, and we had Ellis and I and Daniel Bridgegatted, people there that know us, that are familiar with us, have watched our work. And so they're going to be more receptive to you. That's without a doubt. But if you're not funny, you're not funny. If it's not working, it's not working. And my set was working, and Ellis's set was working, and Daniel's set was working, and our opener Tristan Bowling was a friend of Daniel's, was working. It was a great night of comedy, a lot of fun. All four of us walked away from that venue feeling good about what we did and good about what we got out there. I was very happy to get some new things worked in, some things I like that are expanding some of the bits I have. Ellis is, I don't want to give any of his trade secrets away, but he's working on building another hour. So he was trying to different order, moving some things in, and it went very well. Went very well. Jedi Germs coming back next week. I posted in the Discord through my Patreon page that I needed a week off. There's some stuff going on, and it was half just a functionality reason that I needed to take the week off, and half I just need. Saturdays are usually end up being like a 6-hour writing and recording session for SNN, which I love, but I just mentally could not do that yesterday, so I needed to take it off. But having fun hanging out with all of you here. Jonas Bergen says, how's the COVID situation in California at the moment? We get your beep together for a Star Wars celebration. God, I hope so. It is. It's going. I don't know. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's not going great. And what's not going great is the prevailing attitude. It seems like if it does, the numbers do start to rise like they are in Florida and in Ohio with the Delta variant. If they really do start to rise here, it's not going to stop. There's just they just don't care. And it's frustrating, particularly in Orange County, Anaheim, where Star Wars Celebration is. Yeah. We'll see. I'm hoping. I am hoping. Cubs fan here says Hulk Club. Hey, you know what, Hulk? I'll tell you what. Tough week to be a Cubs fan. I totally know it. Totally get that. Within a year or two, you're going to look back on this week as an important week. You have great talent. You're going to rebuild. It has to happen. It's the way it works, and I know Cub fans understand that, but it just kind of sucks. Because in a year or two, the Rizzos and the Bryants and the Baezes, they're going to start breaking down. They're not going to be as good. They're going to have big contracts and fading numbers, and you're going to be glad that they're somewhere else, or come back on Rizzo could return. Aaron, the author says, I'm very disappointed that I didn't get a chance to see the show in Seattle. Stupid border, but I'm glad it was a good one. Yeah, oh, Aaron, you had a great time. We had a lot of fun, great meetup afterwards. But we'll be back. That is, Seattle's a good spot for Mark and I. Not that I don't travel with Mark everywhere, to be clear. I'm at his graces whenever he wants to bring me. He brings me. White Outfit is Milwaukee Improv is having their grand opening on August 20th. Yeah, see, there you go. There you go, Zach. Trey says to you, did I approach the way you said you would after the La Jolla Epiphany? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Sitting down is the key, Trey. I had a great set. Jedi Germs was wondering, totally. No, Jedi Germs wasn't taken in any negative way. Appreciate you asking. I appreciate you listening to SNN. You and 299 other people that listen to that show, and that's it. So I'm glad someone does. Lauren says, yeah, I'm nervous about Star Wars Celebration 22 now. I am completely nervous about it. Hi, Mr. McClunky's here. Just heard talking about your set. That's funny. Just in time. Yeah. I met Mr. McClunky out there. Great time. We were around each other for a short amount of time. There's a lot of people in the room, to be clear. But what I loved about Mr. McClunky, Brian, so he just waited. He was patient, had a drink, came up, said, it's McClunky. We embraced. We had a good night. What a gentleman. I was happy to meet him. Coach Meek says, kind of stand-up something you think you'll actually pursue again is just something that you do for fun. Really hope you all can come to Nashville soon. I know Ellis is going to Nashville. I'm not, like I said, I'm not guaranteed to travel with Ellis everywhere, but I've expressed interest in Nashville. I love Nashville. Great city. That's a great question, Coach Meek. I am all set to pursue it at a higher level than I have been, and probably had been ever before. But it's still an offshoot of the things I do, if that makes sense. It's no longer, I think when I started doing it again, going on stage with Josh and co-hosting for Mark's stand-up shows and doing some shows on my own in 2019, I think it was more for fun, more of a personal challenge thing to get over that fear I had returning to the stage. And then I had some dips and some successes and then some dips. And then 2020 hit and it kind of put a clamp on things. But I am back and I am doing it at a level that I haven't previously done. So it's not going away. The end result is unclear. Where I have maybe more clear goals in mind for other things I work on, the end result for stand-up is just to get better with each set. I'm not doing a special. I'm not gonna be a regular at the Comedy Store. I'm just, can I improve and can I grow with each set? And I think that's what's going on. And I'm excited to do that. Definitely a tough week to be a Cubs fan. Even as a Brewer fan, they did Rizzo dirty. Yeah, they did. But he's got to be celebrated. He's got to be happy. Because you're a Yankee and God made you a Yankee. Matty Gunner TV, how's it going? It's going good, man. I got to get you all to come out to Baltimore. Oh, we'd love to go to Baltimore. I think there's some plans to go to DC again. So I know, close enough. I know it's not Baltimore, but it's close enough. We might be out there soon. But I'd love to go to Camden Yards. I guess I'm a lifelong Yankee fan, but Camden Yards is one of my favorite ballparks, and I give Camden Yards just all the credit, along with the Sky Dome in 1989 in Toronto, and then Camden Yards in 1991, I think, just ushering a new era of baseball with what we wanted out of our stadiums, which helped just bring the game forward out of the 80s, which at times were dark and dusty and filled with AstroTurf. Have I seen Daniel perform? Oh yeah, I've been on two shows with Daniel Bridgegad. That's how we met Daniel Bridgegad, Trey, in Arizona. He opened up for us out there in 2019, and then up in Seattle later in 2019, because Daniel Bridgegad is based in Arizona but lives in Seattle. Other way, born in Seattle, in the Washington area, I should say, and lives in Arizona. So he went up March 2019, when we were up there for Emerald Con, and we did that show at the Columbia City Theater, whatever it was. So I've seen Daniel twice. He was funny from the start, but he's gotten even better. He's just been doing this nightly, and I think it's great. Dark Faith says, I'm in Pittsburgh, starting to keep my mask around my neck just in case. Never ending, it seems. Yeah, I'm back to wearing a mask pretty much everywhere. We have to wear them inside again here. We never really didn't have to. That I even when the mask mandate was lifted, I was still wearing them, and people still wanted us to wear them inside most restaurants and stores and stuff. So still doing it. Hopefully we can pull it together this time. And yeah, to Lauren Romo's question or statement earlier. I fear for Star Wars Celebration 2022 right now. I really do. Because it's only in May. It's not too far away. Turtle says, I got a question from Alice after this. I've been diving into your library of Daily Thrones and Casually Talk. It's making me really want to rewatch the show and read the books for the first time. What would you recommend? Thank you, number one. And Casually Talk, look at my calendar here. Casually Talk is going to be relaunching, it looks like, on August 10th. We're going to pick up right where we left off. We're rewatching. We're in season 3. I think it's episode 2 or 3, and we're going to pick up right where we left off. And it's going to be kind of on a new feed, but you'll still be able to find it in all the places. It's a little confusing now that we work with Blue Wire, and I had essentially sold Casterly Talk to the GPA, and by sold I mean I just I'll put it under our banner. And we made a little deal behind it for that. And then now that we're on Blue Wire, I'm going to, hopefully get a little bigger with Blue Wire if they can get behind the show. But I had to do a long transfer process that I'm still not 100% sure was smooth. So bear with me, Turtle. As far as reading the books, do it. It's a different experience. Don't confuse the show and the books. It's the same thing. That leads to problems both directions. Dive on in. The thing about reading the books is it does expand your appreciation of the show. It does make you feel a little bit more in the world. I think you can enjoy the show without the books, but dive on in there, man, and read. I highly recommend people read Fire and Blood, which is part 1 of the Targaryen history, and you'll be very ready for House of Blood. Laser Bolts is here. Hey, guys. Vermont Mike, really hoping we don't have to go back to the masks here. Yeah. I just have a feeling we will, and at one point probably should. Sebastian asks, how's Baxter? Baxter's doing great. Baxter's doing great. We've got some, I don't want to speak out of turn here. Baxter's privacy is important to me. We've got some big procedures coming our way. That's I'm gonna have to pick up some deliver some newspaper gigs to Baxter's got some procedures on his way that are needed and gonna make his life that much more better. But he's doing great. He's really healthy. His blood work, the vet was like, for a 14-year-old dog, he is tip-top shape, and we actually have improved some conditions with Baxter that he's had developing, and he's actually more healthy than when we first brought him to this new vet about a year ago. So great stuff. Thanks for asking. Star Wars Alice asks, when is Why We Love Star Wars 2 coming out? Never. I do eventually want to write a second book. I've told the story other spots, but I did pitch kind of another Star Wars project to my publisher, and they didn't like it, which I understood why. So I'm going to reframe that pitch eventually. I just don't have the time. I mean, in 2018, I had the benefit of completely being laid off and having no work, and all the work was just me and a microphone at home. So, and credit cards paying my bills. I don't know if I can pick it up right now, but I do have a kind of a memoir-y idea I pitched to them that wouldn't be so much as a memoir, but just my personal experience as a Star Wars fan and how they can connect to larger audiences. So I think if I re-pitch it, they'll be more excited about it. But they were like, memoirs don't sell. And they, full disclosure, they wanted me to write more about Mandalorian, which, the book Why We Love Star Wars does not factor in Mandalorian and Rise of Skywalker because they didn't come out yet, and I would have a lot of wonderful things to write if I did include those. I just didn't want to wait. We wanted to get the book out when we got it out. So an updated version or something like that, they're not too interested in doing that right now. And I'm not super interested in just writing about the Mandalorian. So that's where we're at. Eventually, one day. Sebastian Philip, both of my dogs are a bit of a health issue. I get it. And then someone tried to poison them. Oh, someone tried to poison your dogs last night, Sebastian? Who do we need to go after? Do I need to send James Bond down there? By the way, I've been watching all the Daniel Craig James Bond, so I'm kind of in a Bond mood. We'll take care of it. Going to help you need, Sebastian. We need you in tip-top mental shape, Sebastian, because you're working on something huge for GPA. Huge. Can't wait to really let you know all about it. We've been teasing it. We're really going to let you know all about it this coming week. Yeah. Thanks, Trey. We consider ourselves good puppy parents. We really do. We really do. Thanks for the follow, Dark Faith. I think. Boo, boo, boo. Okay. Oh, look at that little choo-choo emoji. What's wrong with people? Black Widow says, was just talking about Bond today. Have you read the books? Love them. No, you know what? I've never read the books. And I that's, you know what? Hulk Black Widow, you put that on my radar screen. I'm going to grab some Ian Fleming work. I'd be very curious. I did not grow up a Bond fan. I did not watch the Connery Moore Bonds, the Lazenby Bond. Didn't watch it. Though that documentary that's I think on HBO Max right now. It's pretty interesting. I already knew some stuff about Lazenby, but fascinating story, fascinating person. I just didn't grow up. And then GoldenEye comes out, 95? The game comes out, and then like everyone loved that game, played it. I like Pierce Brosnan, and I like GoldenEye. And I was on board. And then after that, the series kind of lost me. I didn't watch the last Brosnan Bond. What was it, 2002? I didn't watch it. And then I am all in on the Daniel Craig ones. All in. Casino Royale's my favorite. I do love Skyfall. Of course, I'm in the middle of rewatching Skyfall right now. And then I actually love Quantum of Solace. I'm sorry. I love Quantum of Solace. I understand why it's maybe not as good as the other ones. I understand why it left people a little flat. That third act is a little quick, maybe underwhelming. The movie's a little shorter than the other ones too. But I really think there's a lot of great things going on in Quantum of Solace, and it's really interesting to me. I've been doing the rewatch on the old treadmill. So, so I'm in the middle. I'm just in the final 20 minutes of Skyfall, and then I'll go to Spectre. And so I'm interested to rewatch Spectre. I have not seen Spectre since it came out, and I like a lot of people, felt a little let down by Spectre. But I think I watch movies a little differently than I do now, but than I did back then. I can't. I've revisited Quantum of Solace many times, and I this last time I just kind of wanted to revisit it with a different eye. That eye for themes and lessons and stuff that we talk about in Force Center, and I talk about it in Game of Thrones and Casually Talk. And Quantum of Solace I think is really good. So I'm curious to see what I feel about Spectre because I have not seen it. So early Connery and the Craig movie is the most similar to the books. Yeah, and that's intriguing. That's intriguing to me. Yeah, I'll put that on my list. That's a good one. Rob Waldog says, what is this? My uncle's recommended novel, A Man Called Intrepid, for me as a Bond fan. Need to get that. That sounds interesting. Connery and Craig are my faves. Lazenby, Dalton, underrated. Yeah, it's interesting to see Timothy Dalton. Because when I actually have not seen the Dalton Bond, so I'd be curious. I might check those out. I like Timothy Dalton. I love Hot Fuzz, one of my favorite movies. Dalton's great in that. And I think the Dalton Bond started to get this. There's a narrative out there that they're underrated, or they were overlooked, or they misunderstood, all those kind of things. Because when I started coming of age as a pop culture junkie in the mid 90s, I came of age in the late 80s, 12, 13, but like by mid 90s, I'm working in radio and you're making pop culture jokes and references. I think Dalton was like a punchline. He was kind of one of those characters that came across as people loved making jokes about his movies. And then that just becomes the narrative. Whether it's true or not, whether I understand it as a youngster and 20-year-old, 21-year-old, you just make a joke about Dalton as Bond. And it just becomes the narrative. It just becomes the fact. It becomes true. This is what happens with movies and TV shows and stuff like that. You know, are there problems with every Star Wars movie? Yeah, of course. But reshoots with Rogue One or director problems with Solo just become what is accepted, whether you know it or understand it or not. You just think, oh, that's the joke, right? Solo didn't work because they fired Lord Miller, who a genius is. And that just becomes the talking point, whether you understand that or whether you research that or not. And then you reevaluate things, hopefully at some point. And I think Timothy Dalton as a performer had that stuff going on. Some of the conversation started to turn around the stuff. And so I think that started happening with his Bond stuff. So I personally would love to revisit them because I do absolutely love him. I think he's a great actor. I think he's a wonderful performer. And the great quote, I'm a slasher of prices. Oh, I just rewatched Hot Fuzz again too. God, I love those. I love those. I love that film. It's so great. Ben Roddy says, for me, Craig's Bond is what Dalton's era was trying to do, but the audience weren't ready for a slightly darker Bond. See, that's fascinating. Yeah, that's fascinating, Ben. I think that's kind of what we're seeing there. That's right. Dalton wasn't Flash Gordon. Dalton's great body of work, and it's a shame. And maybe there's a reevaluation. Welsh Prince indeed. So there you go. Dalton, yeah, that's right. I forgot Timothy Dalton was in Rocketeer. That's so funny. Rocketeer, that's a movie that people love too. I saw that in theaters, and I don't even know if I've seen Rocketeer since then, but I remember loving it a lot. Dark Fate says, Bad Batch looks to have a cliffhanger season. We will see. Yeah, I'm expecting there to be some sort of cliffhanger. I really do. I don't even know if I said it on Force Center this past week. I'm not even 100% sure if Hunter will be rescued. I guess I should say spoilers for people who haven't watched the episode yet. This is a happy hour show for me here. Clink, clink, indeed. It looks like sparkly water, but that is Malibu rum and Zevia. I love this. Vermont Mike says, what is your favorite wrestling finisher growing up in the 80s? So if we're just saying the 80s, it might be the sleeper hold. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Roddy Piper. It was the one that was the sleeper hold done effectively. And the drama and the selling of it and the arm being raised, it terrified me. As a kid, I just, even when I started to become being pulled in on the work, it still terrified me. And I just think it's great visual drama, that arm drop. And I love that. And then late 80s into 1990, I would say it's like specifically like a 1990 finisher for me. The Perfect Plex. Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, the Perfect Plex. I still consider that one of my all-time favorite finishing maneuvers. It's just simple because it's such a wrestling move. It's a wrestling move and it makes sense. Suplex, but you're locked and you can't get out. Like, it makes sense. I love modern day wrestling. I don't watch it religiously as I used to, but I'm always keeping tabs on it. Brian Newsbaum's got a question about Bray Wyatt. I'll try to get my thoughts on it. I don't know too much of that situation, but the flippity flop stuff does work. It's fun. It's so visual. I love it. The athletics skills on display in wrestling weekly and nightly are just amazing. I love it. I just love old fashioned storytelling. And I still think you can tell stories with those moves, but the Perfect Plex just made sense for me. It was, the Rock's, elbow drop and, Hogan's leg drop, like Ranger Donald was talking about. They work, but they work in some high concept story, spiritual way. The Hogan leg drop is so powerful it works, but the Perfect Plex was like a wrestling move. The sleeper hold was like a wrestling move. And and with the sleeper hold and Roddy Piper, this quick story I have. It's not my story to tell, but my friend Joe Ruggiero, a lot of you old schmo fans know him as Shoesy Pants, one of the early interns. Joe's still a really good friend of mine. And we met Piper, all of us met Piper in 2010 at a comedy show, and then we worked with him in MBW for a while. And Piper was taking pictures, and so my friend Joe just says, "Hey, can you take a picture? And can you put me in a sleeper? Can you put me in a sleeper?" Piper says, "Yeah, all right." And he was great. He was amazing. And he puts Joe in a sleeper for the photo, and Joe started to turn blue. Piper was so old school. He's got to protect the business. He's got to protect the business. And it was legit. And Joe was like, take the picture. And that's the picture. I think it's on his Facebook page somewhere. It's one of my favorite things. I love that. Rizzo, Rizzo's 2 homers as a Yankee. He also had a game time single today. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. Sleeper Roll is a snoozer. Color Jerry says, where does that comment go? Do you watch each episode twice to get ready for Force Center? We do at least twice, whether it's Bad Batch, Clone Wars Report, Mandalorian, Kenobi, whatever's coming down the line. Yeah, we always watch it at least twice. So for me right now, Thursday night is, if I can, I stay up to midnight, watch it. Then I usually get up about 6:30 on Friday, watch Bad Batch again, and that's when I make notes. And then if I have time, I'll watch it a third time. But usually right now I have to get GPA, and then after GPA, I rush back here, and Joseph and I record the episodes. So yeah, we always try that. Same with Game of Thrones. Which is why I understand why it worked. But back in the day, in some of the Collider, like the Collider Thrones talk, that was different than the watching Thrones when we had time. I watched them like 2 or 3 times. I think there were some episodes during my time at the watching Thrones that I watched the episode 4 times on Sunday night before I went in the next day. But Thrones talk, they wanted us to do on Sunday night. Sit and watch the episode and then run into the studio, I should say. And I don't like that. I don't like that. You're missing stuff. You don't have time to process, let alone forget, maybe a name or a plot point that you're not connecting with right away. That happens a lot. Yeah. And some people very nicely will tweet out, "Hey, you forgot there's a clone commando in this past week. Yeah, you forgot that guy was connected to Gregor." And it's like, we didn't forget. We're saying so many things. We don't remember to say it all. We don't want to say it all. It just doesn't work. And so when you're rushing into a studio right after you've watched an episode to give your reaction, you're not really discussing the episode. And I don't like reviewing the episodes. I like discussing the episode. And so I fought against it a little bit. They met me halfway. We did the premiere and the finale of season 7 live right after. And look, here's the thing. The numbers are better. The numbers are bigger. People want to rush right to it. I just, unless you're getting a screener, can watch it a couple times before. For my style of talking about this stuff, especially now that I love breaking down the themes, what it means, and what it connects to the other parts of the story in Game of Thrones, it doesn't work. So for House of the Dragon, when it comes back, Castle Talk, it'll come out a day later, and hopefully it'll be a little bit more of a detailed, meaningful discussion. That's my rant. End of rant. Damn Canadians. Remember when the HBO app collapsed every Sunday? I absolutely do. Once for entertainment, twice for notes is absolutely right, Jedi Germs. Yeah. Especially early days of the WWE network. I had it. I subscribed like on first day, $9.99. I got my WWE network. And I remember one of the first, I think was it WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble? Whatever the first pay-per-view was. I was sitting with some friends. I think Joe Rizzarello was one of them. And it was dropping out and it was the pre-show. And I said, F this. And I didn't cancel the app, but I X'd out of the app and purchased it on old school pay-per-view, paid $70, whatever it was. Cause I was like, at least I know. And I think eventually they approved the system, but yeah. Am I excited for Dune? I'm not excited. I've never seen Dune, never read Dune. I'm not a big sci-fi fan, so it looks very sci-fi to me. It looks gorgeous. Everyone involved is talented, so maybe I'll watch it. I'm definitely not looking forward to it. Like actively not looking forward to it. The trailer made me. This is what the trailer made me do. So we'll see. Doesn't mean it looks fantastic, and then like I said, so much talent involved. I'm sure it'll be great. Yeah, I've heard the Peacock crashes every pay-per-view. That's what I hear. Was that why Disney Plus releases later worldwide? I think so. Royal Rumble in London, Ric Flair triumph, best ever. Got to be fair to Flair. Old man handsaw. Hey, remember when you had to wait hours to see your favorite music video? MTV turns 40 today. I want my I want my MTV. Speaking of which, music. We're almost done here. Grace and I gotta go grab some treats soon. I'm gonna unveil the world premiere. The world premiere. What the world is watching. I am going to show you all the logo for the new show I've got coming out. Location to be determined. For about 2.5 years on my Patreon page, I've been doing something called the Kazok Radio Patreon playlist. Been a ton of fun. First, it started as like a actual essay piece, which I was trying to get back to a little of my music journalism roots. In early 2000s, I wrote for a website called Tiny Mixtapes. And it was just, I couldn't stop writing. It was getting too long. And so I stopped. But then I started doing an old school radio show on my Patreon page, which I love doing it. We did 34 playlists. So that's about 3 years because we did one a month mostly. Right? Yeah. I'm switching it all up. That playlist is going away. And then I'm going to do a public facing music show called Ken Napzok's Pop Rockin' Radio. That logo, I love this logo, designed by Old Handsaw. Some new wave vibes. Ken Napzok's Pop Rockin' Radio will be coming on the way very soon. Stand by for the format. There's a couple options that I'm working with right now, trying to get it together. So that is coming, and I think most likely, it's going to be on this place called Mixcloud, where it can be public facing, where I can play music and the artists can get compensated and everybody will be happy. So look for that later this month. I'm getting ready. I'm excited. I did the final Kazok Radio playlist yesterday, and we're going to go public with that. But I still will have stuff tied to the Patreon page. And like an extra, I think we're going to put it up on the Patreon page, maybe an extra song. You'll get a request line on the Patreon page, that kind of thing. So that's what's going on there, man. And then Old Handsaw is my official associate producer on this project. We're going to do some great imaging. It's going to be fun. Going to be a good 45 minute to an hour radio show right now, probably bi-weekly, twice a month. And then there you go. Adam 1989 says, been really appreciating Pop Perfection release. I've been making many Spotify playlists myself. Love that. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. I'm a radio man. I like 3 chords and the truth. I like 3 minutes of jingle jangly rock and roll greatness, and that's what I'm going to dive on into, songs from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and more. And I'm also having fun doing the radio gig over at Hall of Fame Music Radio. You guys, if you're not familiar with that, you can catch me every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern on hofmradio.com. It's a radio station in Pennsylvania, an actual real radio station that I record right here. And it's a lot of fun, but I don't control the songs. It's mostly oldies. I just do some voice tracking. But this is going to be like my radio show, and it's going to be awesome. Wolbrand asks, is that for unsigned bands or full commercial bands? Mostly full commercial bands. It's going to be me just going through songs I love from different eras. But Wolbrand, if you got an unsigned band, if you're in an unsigned band, if you got a track that you want me to play and a track you want me to share, you reach out to me. You let me know. All right. I'm going all in on it because I just absolutely love I love my days in radio. That's why I talk about it often. And though I loved the broadcasting side a lot, clearly I can't shut up when these microphones are in front of me. I also loved the music side of it. I was a music guy. As much as you hear me talk about Star Wars now, I was more about music back in the late 90s. I was more that guy. I was the high fidelity guy. I got a little better. You don't want to be that guy, but I got a little better with it. And that's what it was. And that's what was fun. So in addition to just talking and entertaining and communicating on the microphone, I love finding music. I love songs and putting them together. And it was always fun at my radio station, the way I would do it. So there we go. Oh, Zach is back on subbing, and I know Zach, you're doing good. And when I was up in Seattle, I one of the guys in the audience, he and his wife, was a friend of mine named Tom, who I had been in radio with in the 90s in my hometown. And he was like kind of a weekend DJ at first and kind of became like the night DJ. And I was like the morning show DJ. And, then I ended up being the graveyard DJ. And he would do the shift before me at times, named Tom. And he has a great show called Third Place Radio. And go to Mixcloud now and find it. He's on there. And he was just talking to me. We hadn't seen, we talked every once in a while through the years. We'd talk social media and whatnot. But he interviewed me on a podcast a long time ago. But he was like, dude, you got to look into Mixcloud. You could do a full on radio show and everyone can hear it, because my only other option is to go to Anchor, where the Napzok Files is, and do a show that would be exclusive for Spotify premium listeners, which would be cool too. So maybe I could do that as well. But rebroadcast episodes or something, I just got to put it together differently. You actually have to individually grab the songs. So, but that's just behind the scenes nonsense. But I think we're leaning towards Mixcloud, because I think it can be public facing. It's another format, another place that you have to subscribe and follow. But it has an app and has a desktop ability to listen. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Blur was good. Coffee and TV, yeah. Good man. Wolverine says, yeah, unsigned bands get treated like shit. It's always great to hear people like yourself who want to promote. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, man. And look, and that's the thing. And thank you, Turtle. The music-based episode of Napzok Files is so good. And knowledge of music is immense. Yeah. Thank you. I the thing about my knowledge of music is also similar to like my love of Star Wars. It's similar with all the things I love. I know baseball really well. I don't know it super well right now, but in the mid 90s, like baseball was my thing too. I can give you the stats and I can give you the stories, but it's the heart. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the heart of Star Wars. I'm here for the heart of Young Guns too. I'm here for what it makes you feel like, and studying the emotions and celebrating the emotions of loving these things. And that's, for me, music, and for many people, music is that. And I was fortunate enough to work at a radio station where my program directors, but my first program director specifically, John Mackey, it was about the music. And we were allowed to play the songs we wanted. We just had to write it down so the record companies would know. We did have a playlist, but we could sub in and out. Some songs we had to get to. And you could really just play with your heart. You could play songs with your heart. And that was part of the fun. I would be at the board and song will be playing. We had CD players that I just posted a picture on Instagram. You guys can go look. That was the old studio I was at. We have CDs players here, and you have the board, and like you're actually putting CDs in from a wall of about 10,000 CDs. And like I would sometimes just close my eyes and I'd hear the song, Meat Puppets, Backwaters playing. And I'm like, what other song makes me feel like that? What other song, what vibe am I feeling? You know what? Posies, Dream All Day. Posies, Dream All Day. I'm going to grab that. And I'd race, and the counter would be going down. 10, 9, 8. I'd be going to the CD wall, finding the Posies. I can't say it today. And pulling the album off. I think it was Frosting on the Beater or Beater on the something like that. And I'd pull the album up and I'd slap it in and I'd push in that CD player and I'd press play. And the song would hit, and it would just, God, that was part of the fun of radio when I talk about working in radio. So that's what I want to do again with my show. So there you go. Mark said, hell yeah, Meat Puppets. The backwaters turn, and there is something that will never change. So back to that Will Brand at that radio station. Like a lot of radio, good rock stations, even KCSN in town, 88.5 here in Los Angeles, and you can listen on their app worldwide. It is a college radio station, but it's well beyond that. Nick Harcourt works there and everything, and they're tied into local. And good radio stations are tied into local bands and trying to find those bands and breaking those bands. And that still kind of works, man. And program directors. The game has changed. Radio long went corporate with deregulation in the late 90s, which I was around for when all started to change, and the radio stations just became voice-tracked monsters and no flavor to it. You can still find them. KCSN is a radio station. You can still find that. I would love when things were organic. One of my favorite stories is Goo Goo Dolls' Name. Name, whether you like the Goo Goo Dolls or not, Name was a giant single for a record that they did not make any money on. They were with Metal Blade, I think was the label there, and they did not make money. It was one of those tragic stories. Big band, they go on to have a nice career, sure, but they weren't rolling in it during that album. But A Boy Named Goo was the album, and they had a lot of harder rocker songs. Definitely have a Replacements vibe. And I'm a big Mats fan. And I know Westerberg was a little put out by the Goo Goo Dolls, kind of getting big with what he felt was his sound. But yeah, Westerberg's a curmudgeon like me. But Name is the single. Name is the song that broke the band. And the story goes, it was the program director at K-Rock who was like, had the album and he had the singles, and there's some okay singles on that album. And he's like, all right, all right, they're good. It's 1995, and this is the sound. Harder Edge, Gin Blossoms, I don't know. And then he gets to, I think it was track 6, his Name. He's like, this is the single. Why is the record company not putting out this as a single? So he starts playing Name in Los Angeles. Big city, big market, boom, 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 starts growing. And that's how the Goo Goo Dolls song Name broke and was a big, big song. Radio did that. Radio connected to the heart and the emotion of music, did that. That's what I want to do, and that's what I want to be a part of. I've never met him personally, but an old roommate of mine who now is actually back in Ohio, he was a DJ for a long time at WMMS and a lot of Cleveland and Ohio radio stations. WMMS, the Buzzard, is a legendary radio station. It's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just the entire station. And there's this guy named John Gorman, who he's still alive and well. He had an app-based radio station the last couple of years. Unfortunately, didn't last the pandemic. He's a legendary program director, and he helped break Springsteen. He helped break all those kind of artists in that, the Pretenders, all of those bits. And he was connected to the music, and he felt the music, and that's to me the power of radio and the power of music and how it all can combine. I love live shows. I love hearing stories. When we were in Seattle, we were performing at the El Corazon Theater, which used to be called Off the Ramp. This had several different names, but it was Off the Ramp, and it literally is like underneath a freeway overpass, I should say. Mookie Blaylock Band had their first gig there. Of course, that becomes Pearl Jam. And I was upstairs watching it on YouTube. But the manager and I, John, where he was telling me some of the stories about it. And he was there for some of the other big nights when Hagar unveiled his side project Chickenfoot. And then there was one night when Queens of the Stone Age sold out the place, and Dave Grohl was on drums, and 400 people were there. The venue maybe can hold 200. And just hearing those rock and roll stories, man, that's the stuff I love. And that's the stuff I want to talk about, that is why I'm super excited about Ken Napzok's Pop Rockin' Radio. Yeah, love that logo. Thank you, old handsome. That's my rant. Sorry. Did I lose any listeners? That's my music radio rant. It's not just for me. Talking to microphones again is one thing. I used to host the morning show 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. But, you're only got 5 talk sets an hour, and one of them is news, sports, and weather. So I wasn't on for 4 hours straight, and I'm glad I wasn't, because I love going to music. I love that. Love that. Will Brent says, William Britton lost John Peel on BBC. That's the day on the sign. I had no chance of getting anywhere near mainstream radio. Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. I've heard of John Peel too. Yeah, that's the thing, man. I love those stories. And look, the music industry changed, but I think you can find if you get a song out there, Spotify's not paying like it should, and I totally get it. Bandcamp, and it's hard, but it's possible. And if I can do any part of it, again, Woolbrand, someone, a band. If you're in a band, I don't care. Let me know. I'm not going to have the pull yet, but we'll do it. Jack Porkins, I didn't say hello to you. Hey there, Jack Porkins. Long live Jack. Jenna Jimson missed WHFS, great station, Baltimore, Washington area, had awesome festival. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's changed, and the way people listen to music has changed, and it is what it is. You can't go back, You can't go back. We've got digital, we've got Apple, we've got Spotify, we got playlists. The album is not appreciated as much as it used to be. It's different, but there's benefits with different. That's fine. So there we go. LQ says, have you watched the doc on WLIR Dare to Be Different? Have I watched that? It sounds familiar. I don't think I have. I'm going to seek that out, because something about that's familiar. Like I think maybe I did have it up. I was ready to watch it a while ago. Like a while ago. I don't know. I'm going to look into that. Love it. Love it. All right. Grace is really waiting to go. We're going to go get some vegan milkshakes. By the way, if you're a fan of GPA and you watched this week when we had Jessica Hall on Tuesday's show, and she talked about that vegan Mexican restaurant she is a co-owner of, Sugar Taco. We went there Friday night. Holy crap, that's one of my favorite restaurants. Sugar Taco. If you're in SoCal, 2 locations, not a sponsor. Man, it was so good. So good. All right, I'm already out of here. Lewis Cox is here. Hey, Ken, how are you, bud? You're awesome. No, you're awesome. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for helping me pressure the Whiteout 52, Zach Anderson, to get back up on the stand-up stage. Thank you all. Thank you all indeed. We're going to be out of here. We'll see what we do next week. If I can get a hold of some of those new Lego sets coming out about little Mandalorian, I think I saw, stuff like that. I'll build them. And then maybe, just maybe, I will do the Bright Tree Village or the Death Star. Maybe. All right, everybody. That's it. Clink, clink.